Hi, my name is Eric Poulin. I'm from the Oshawa, Ontario stake, and I wanted to submit an idea that I have that I've created called LDS program, LDSprog.com, which is what we're looking at right here. The idea is, I'm on the High Council in my stake, and the idea is that as I've been visiting the other units, I noticed a lot of inconsistencies along the sacrament programs, and quite frankly, a lot of them were pretty awful looking. And I was hoping that we could create something that would automate the creation of these sacrament programs so that it's much simpler for the people creating them to use, perhaps a bishop or bishopric can use in the absence of somebody who's actually creating these programs, but mostly to just have a consistent designed look and feel for this program, along with a digital version of it for people using tablets or phones. So let's have a quick look at the actual program. What we're looking at here is at full size in my browser. If I kind of shrink it down, this is kind of more like tablet size what we'd be looking at. It starts by loading the program cover. This is only launched in my local unit, so it automatically loads my unit, the Bowmanville Ward, in the Oshawa stake. If we go over to the sacrament meeting section, it's just a kind of a regular outline of what a sacrament meeting might look like. Right, from your who's presiding to the hymns and the speakers. The hymns are hyperlinked, so if you click on a hymn, it just brings you to the text version of the hymn, so you don't have to grab a hymn book. And going back brings you back into the application. So it's very simple to use in that aspect. If we look at the announcements section, in our unit we list our ward goals all the time, so it lists our ward goals, any calendared announcements, any birthdays this week, which our ward lists all the time, and the Sunday school and priesthood lessons coming up for this week and then the coming weeks. We also list chapel cleaning duties and a list of the missionaries. And then finally, the last section, if you imagine this is a single fold program where the front page is the cover, interior left is the sacrament meeting, interior right is the announcements, and then on the back page there's space for some other material. And in our unit we list our ward plan, so that's just listed here so that every week our members can have a look at what are the plan that we're working on. Now, more interestingly, I think for this community is how does this actually work and how is this created. So I'm going to go to LDSprog.com/admin. And when we go to the admin section, I'm already logged in, but the login here is based off of an LDS account. So you'd log in using your LDS account, and we're kind of hijacking the LDS account information. We're not storing usernames or passwords anywhere, so we're not doing anything that's bad. And again, this is only launched in my local unit, so it doesn't have any widespread adoption at all. On this section, there's a space here for you to upload your MLS export, and the reason that we do that is for the birthdays. So the only information that we're taking out of that export is the list of the names of people and their birth day of the year. So all that other sensitive information we're just discarding. We don't store any of that information. On the screen, what we're looking at, if I just maximize it, is a historical list of all the ward programs that have been created using this ward program generator. So not only is this a way to automate the creation of ward programs, but it's contributing to the ward history. So you can look back at any point in history to see who spoke. And this may also help some of the bishopric members if they were trying to figure out, who spoke when. So this kind of tracks that. Let's go and create a new meeting so that we can see the actual interface of a meeting. In fact, I've already created a meeting for the coming week, so let's just come back and edit the meeting for this coming week. So we're presented with this screen with 3 tabs. There's a meeting tab, announcements, and back cover. There's no tab for the front cover right now. It automatically uses the same image every time. I do have plans to create a front cover tab so that we can change the image so it's not always the same one. But on the meeting tab, you basically are going to choose who's presiding. In our case, it's the bishop, who's conducting, who's the music leader, and the ward pianist. These pieces of information will automatically come forward based off of what happened the week before. So it's assuming that those callings haven't changed, but you can always change them. When you're entering the hymn numbers, all you're entering in is the number of the hymn. You can enter in the invocation and benediction if you know those ahead of time. Specify if there's a special musical number, and then enter the speakers' names. You can have an optional fourth speaker if you want, or you can just leave it blank. And then if we switch over to the Announcements tab, this is where the real power happens because we're importing a lot of information here. Now, first of all, my unit, again, displays our ward goals. So it pulls in the information from the last time, the last week, assuming that the numbers haven't changed, but you can always come in here and edit these numbers so that you have an accurate account of what's happened last month. The announcements are pulled in from the ward and stake calendar. So in my case, I'm logged in with my LDS account. It automatically pulls in all the calendar items that I've subscribed to, but you can easily add and delete these different things. So if there's certain things that you don't want to announce, you just click the X to maybe get rid of things. If there's announcements that somehow didn't make it on the calendar, you can add new items, and you could specify a time for that as well if you wanted to. So we'll say that's happening at 6 p.m. Birthdays are automatically pulled in from the MLS export, so there's really nothing that needs to be done here, but if you've had a new move-in and you haven't had a new export created, you can just add them to the list. I'll just add a fake birth date for myself that's happening, say, on the 6th. The lessons and cleaning schedule. So we have our cleaning schedule that's already been preloaded for the whole year. It's just a CSV file that was uploaded into the database. Again, we plans to make an automated way to do that. The lessons themselves are just numbers. So you're writing in the lesson number for Sunday school. This is just coming from the Sunday school lesson manual. In this case, it's for the Old Testament lesson number. The Priesthood and Relief Society lesson is pulling the number from the Teachings of the Prophets. Or in the case of first week, it's President's Choice. Fourth week is the sacrament meeting, the General Conference lessons. And so right now you're kind of manually typing those in, but we do have some plans to have a way to just automatically link directly out to those General Conference lessons as well. And of course there's a section for missionaries, so you can enter in who the missionaries are in your unit. And if you have more companionships, you can always just add those as well. Finally, on the back page, again, we use our ward plan on our back page, but you could list anything you want here just by entering a title, a subtitle, and then this is just a free text editor. So I know a lot of units like to list the phone numbers and callings of the ward leaders on the back. So when you're finished, you just click Save the Meeting, and that will automatically be added to this main list here. And once you get to this main list, you can click the PDF button, which generates a beautiful and consistent looking ward program that's going to fit automatically without having to worry about spacing. It just automatically makes everything fit onto a regular single fold program that you can print and be ready to go. And if there's any last minute changes, you can easily just go back into that edit menu, make the change, generate the PDF instantly, and then print it, even right at the chapel on a Sunday morning if there's a last minute change. There's also the digital version, which you can launch, and when you click that button, it just previews what it's going to look like in a kind of a mobile size thing. Now, this is all generated in the back end using a MySQL database, but of course any database could be used. The back end is a Java-based system using Hibernate for persistence, and the front end is using a JavaScript library called Dojo, the Dojo Toolkit. And I'd be happy to donate this to the community or to the church if there's interest in the church taking this project over. Obviously, it's only launched in my one unit right now, but I would love to see this being used everywhere so that we have a consistent look and feel for our programs, that they can be used digitally, so we're saving on paper, and it also saves a lot of fiddling and heartache for the people who are in charge of creating the Ward program. In fact, that calling can somewhat be eliminated because you could have the people, the bishopric member who's doing the talk assignments come in to enter that, the person in charge of hymns come in and add the hymns, and then essentially you don't even need that calling anymore, and those people could be put to use in other ways. So I present that to you, and hope that it's to your liking. And if you find that you want to be able to use this, just contact me. I'm happy to help out. Thanks again.